Palworld is a game that answers the question we've all been asking for over a decade. What if Ark Survival Evolved was good? When Palworld was first announced back in 2021, everyone just called it Pokemon with guns, because, well, yeah.
But it doesn't just rip off Pokemon.
It's also got gliding from Zelda, the church and the big tree from Elden Ring, the fishing minigame from Stardew Valley, Doctor Doom. And if that wasn't bad enough, pretty much everything about the game is ripped directly out of Ark Survival Evolved.
And I fucking hate Ark.
You have to tame dinosaurs to help you out, which means beating them unconscious or shooting darts at them until they pass out. Unfortunately, a lot of the stronger dinosaurs will take literally hundreds of darts, which often means whatever gun or crossbow you use to shoot them for 20 minutes straight will sometimes just lose durability until it breaks. To be fair though, this does create some of the highest tension I've experienced in a video game, because it means if you make a small mistake,
You have to play more Ark.
you progress by unlocking the game's crafting recipes called engrams, which means
The physical or chemical trace of a memory stored in the brain.
usually I wouldn't complain about level-based progression in a game because it forces you to experience a lot more that the game has to offer before you move on to new stuff. But in Ark, you level up so goddamn slowly that it forces you to experience the same thing over and over and over again until you can finally craft the air conditioner. I get that a lot of these things are put in place to make the game feel more realistic, like how when the sun sets it's basically impossible to see. But if I wanted to feel like I was really running around in the woods at night, I could just go do that.
I hope an Alpha T-Rex doesn't come and find me. No, it's just for YouTube video, yeah.
In most games, getting the best equipment is a big triumph, and usually means working hard to get upgrades, or fighting strong enemies to progress through the game.
But in Ark Survival Evolved, the only way to get the best gear in the game is to wait for Christmas and get a present from Raptor Claus.
No, I'm not kidding.
Pretty much the only saving grace for me is how funny the game is.
I mean, you play as this stupid character you make, and the scary dinosaurs jumping out at you are good for some laughs, but really, I don't care about the actual game at all. Unlocking crafting recipes makes the progression feel too forced. Sometimes you'll need something you can't craft yet, so your only option is to grind for XP until you can make it. You also can't carry too many items while you're exploring, because your character can only carry a certain weight.
Because here I'm very encumbered, because I take all the stone, and that make me encumbered.
Which I just don't think is fun for a survival sandbox crafting game, where the two main features are exploring and gathering materials. And Palworld does pretty much all of these things in almost the exact same way.
But what surprised me is that Palworld does it all so much better.
Palworld fully released this week with its 1.0 update, and when I first started playing, it reminded me a little too much of Ark.
It is like Ark. This game is Ark.
Dude, I don't want to play Ark.
Okay?
I don't fucking want to play Ark, dude. Same progression, same crafting system, you tame creatures, there's even big towers where you fight bosses, just like Ark.
And when the game wasn't reminding me of Ark, it just made me feel bad.
So look at this.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's fucked up. What the fuck? Like, you hold it up and it starts crying, dude. What the fuck? Holy I hate this game. I hate this game. This game is evil.
But as I played more, I realized a few things.
Punching a tree to get wood doesn't hurt you. Taming a creature doesn't take an hour. There's no fart sound effect that plays every 2 minutes. Yes, that actually happens in Ark. I'm not making that up. And it wasn't just the small things. I could feel the progress I was making right from the start. And the Pokemon, I mean pals, fit perfectly into the big, vibrant world that you're thrown into. There's over 200 pals in this game, and just wondering what I might see next kept me wanting to play more. Is it original?
No.
Do the animations work?
No.
Is the story even a little bit remotely interesting?
No.
But your penguins carry items around for you.
And I think that's pretty cool.
This guy up here? Oh, yeah, there we go. What? I thought I was going to get a reward for that quest. He just said, yummy, I'll eat every bite. In Ark Survival Evolved, it's super important to build an actual base to live in, because otherwise a T-Rex might randomly decide that you've had it too good for too long. This isn't actually a problem in Palworld, because not only do pals rarely come to attack you, but when they do, the pals at your base will make quick work of them. Palworld still directly copied Ark's building system, even though there's not much of a practical reason for it other than being decorative and fun. But honestly, I think a feature existing for fun is one of the best reasons to put something in a game.
Where's the house blue?
I don't know. Having your pals work at your base is a really cool mechanic because it's a great incentive for catching as many pals as you can. It's also a very natural form of automation, which is something I love in any sandbox survival crafting game.
Eventually, you can put them to work on assembly lines and make a sort of Pokemon sweatshop, but until then, I really like the atmosphere of a sort of homestead of funny creatures working together. They can craft items for you, build structures, and even farm for basic resources while you're off catching more pals. I think if it was 2009 and PETA was still culturally relevant, they'd start demanding that people don't exploit pal labor or something. Oh, they're actually doing that. Later on in the game, things get a little worse, where pals can starve or get injured while working in the mines or a sweatshop. And if they don't work hard enough, you can butcher them and feed them to your other pals. I might actually agree with PETA on this one. Even though I don't care about the main story of the game, it does provide a good incentive for exploration. But honestly, most of the different areas look so cool that it doesn't really need the extra incentive. I mean, right out the gate, you're met with a beautiful green landscape, a giant volcano in the distance, a massive tree. There's just so much cool stuff to see that it makes me want to go and explore. If you look off the coast to the starting area, there's a giant oil rig looking structure in the middle of the ocean. That's way cooler than all the main story areas, which are literally just boss towers from Ark copy-pasted around the map. Going to a new area and discovering all the new pals feels a lot like being a kid, playing Pokemon Black version on my DSi and discovering new Pokemon, but it also feels a lot like discovering old Pokemon.
The same as Ark, except
It is
it's just-
Lucario.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I've enjoyed about Palworld is how your base progresses as you do, because not only do you build more crafting benches to make better tools, but you also build things for your pals, like farms for them to gather materials or a hot spring for them to relax. Honestly, the biggest problems I have with this game are the things they copied from Ark that they just should not have. Having a limit to how much weight you can carry is just annoying, but at least in Ark Survival Evolved, you can shove everything into your dinosaur's inventory. Honestly, I think Palworld copied the weight thing without even realizing what made it balanced in the first place, because you can't let your pals carry anything. Every item you have has to be held by you. See guys, Ark isn't that bad. Also, Ark's engram system, the place where you unlock crafting recipes, is one of the most lame and boring progression systems I've ever experienced. Yeah, Palworld saves it a little bit by requiring far less grinding for XP than Ark does, but it still doesn't feel good, having to choose between a cool decorative item and something you need to progress in the game. Now, obviously, the biggest criticism the game has faced is that the PAL designs are just Pokemon ripoffs, but really, I don't think that's true at all. Okay, it's kind of true. But credit where credit's due, a lot of the designs I've seen are quite original and clearly distinct from any existing Pokemon. I mean, yeah, this is literally just Luxray, but come on, really? These designs are like vaguely similar, but I really don't see the comparison here. I mean, these two are kind of similar, but I think Grisbolt is supposed to look more like Totoro than Electabuzz. Sure, plenty of the designs are clearly inspired by Pokemon, but I don't think Pokemon should have a monopoly on funny little creatures you collect in a video game. If anything, some friendly competition might make Pokemon start putting some money into their games. I mean, can you believe this was made by the highest grossing media franchise in the world? This IP is worth hundreds of billions of dollars. Yeah, Palworld is a pretty blatant ripoff of both Pokemon and Ark Survival Evolved, but taking something that already exists and changing it up a bit is how genres evolve over time. A lot of my favorite games of all time wear their inspirations on their sleeves, like Undertale and Earthbound, or A Hat in Time and 3D Mario games. Yes, Palworld might be a lot less creative when it comes to some specific gameplay features and designs, but it makes up for it by being a charming, fun-to-play game. And if the game is fun, well, that's good enough for me.